Well, everybody, I have to try this again since I was interrupted by my dad calling me since they're hanging out of Boise, so they're gonna head home to Lewiston, which is my hometown. So, anyways, this is gonna be another media update, which is VHS, DVD, and Blu ray update for July 20th, 2025. Today, while my Nana and I went to a couple of stores while we're doing some errands, got some VHS tapes, DVDs, and Blu rays. 6 DVDs and 3 Blu rays from Goodwill, and 4 VHSs, and yeah, 6 DVDs from the Youth Ranch, and a Blu ray from the Youth Ranch, and 5 DVDs from Goodwill, and 3 Blu rays. Sorry about that, folks. I was just counting. So, anyways, no time to waste. Let's get on with the update. Starting with this tape right here. And I used to have this tape back in November of 2015 that I got from Goodwill. But now I have another copy since the tape is damaged. May 18th, 2001. While my other copies printed May 23rd, 2001. And this tape is recycled when I checked. And it's Baby Secret of the Lost Legends, which is a Touchstone tape. Which is a Touchstone movie. Which I'll show you. And here it is. Recycled from Baby Secret of the Lost Legends, the reprint from Touchstone. Which I don't have this tape yet, unfortunately. But I will as soon as possible when I go to Grandma Elaine's and my mom's. And then they'll take me to their stores, other thrift stores. And now the rest are 4 slipcovers. So, anyways, let's begin. And I never had this tape in my collection, but here it is. And I'm a big fan of Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. I decided to get this tape. And this tape is rare because it has the vertical ink label, which is very rare. So, yep. And a reprint from August 31st, 1998, which is very rare if I say so myself. I finally had this tape. So, yep. Never heard this movie before until now. In which I'm going to watch this movie as soon as possible, which has Mel Gibson and Sissy Spacek. And this movie also has Scott Glenn in it as well. And a reprint from the 13th week of 1999. And I used to have this tape back in 2016. But now, I didn't like it at first. But now, I finally have this tape back in the collection. and which is a spin-off sequel to The Fugitive, in which The Fugitive and U.S. Marshals needed a watch soon. So, yep. July 3rd, 1998. So printed the day before Independence Day of that year. And finally, here's the last VHS for this update. And then I'll get more in the future before I leave for Boise. And then come back home to Lewiston, which is next Saturday, so which is the 26th. September 23rd, 1996. Haven't seen this movie yet, but I will as soon as possible, so yep. That's it for the VHS tapes. Now let's get on with the DVDs. So, yep. And I finally have this movie back in the collection, which is the 2003 DVD of Annie. I will rewatch this movie after many years soon. So, yep. Haven't seen this movie as well, but I will as soon as possible, which this movie has Johnny Depp and Penelope Cruz. Haven't seen this movie yet, but I will as soon as possible. Haven't seen this movie in years, so haven't seen this movie in years. But I finally have this DVD at last, so yep. And this is the 2012 Illumination version of the Lorax, which has Danny DeVito, Zac Efron, and Betty White. I need to use the bathroom after the video. Sorry about my farts. Which I ate Sonic for lunch, so just ignore it. And excuse me for this. I have the first Madagascar movie on DVD. And the only Madagascar movie that I don't have are Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted, and The Penguins of Madagascar. And I finally have this movie back in the collection, which I used to have this movie on DVD when I got this DVD for Christmas back in 2009. But now I finally have this movie. So, yep. Finally, I have this movie for its collection. And speak of Superman, my mom and Grandma Elaine will be and I will be going to see it in Real D 3D on Wednesday, the 23rd, which will be go see it in Real D 3D at Regal's Edward Spectrum, which is in Nampa, Idaho. I finally have this movie for the collection, which I'm very happy to find it at last. For more DVDs for this video, then we'll be getting to the 4 Blu-rays that I'm about to show. I finally have this DVD back in the collection, in which I used to have this DVD back in 2019 from Aunt Sue, but I gave it away, so I decided to get this DVD back in the collection. I have the first 2 Pirates of the Caribbean movies on DVD. So, yep. I've already mentioned the first 2 Pirates of the Caribbean movies on DVD. I have Ratatouille, Bridge to Terabithia, The Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause on DVD, and I have Cars on Blu-ray. The only 2 I've been missing are Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides and Dead Man Tale No Tales, which I don't have both of them yet, but I will soon. And I was going to find this movie on VHS for a long time, but now I have the movie on DVD, in which it's one of my all-time favorite Don Bluth movies ever. And I'm not gonna bother getting the Secret of Nim 2, Timmy 2 Rescue, in which the sequel sucks. And I'm not gonna bother. lucky to find this movie on DVD at last. So, yep. Like I said, The Secret of Nim is one of my all-time favorite Don Bluth movies ever. Oh yeah, the only Don Bluth that I don't have is Titan AE. And the rest suck, in my opinion, so... Yep. And I finally have this movie for collection. And I... And I... And I was going to get this movie on the Criterion Blu-ray, but couldn't find it. But I decided I'm going to get this movie on DVD, so... Yep. The other side is this side's widescreen, and the other side will be full screen. Just like my other copy, just like my copy of Stripes, which they have the flipper disc. And this movie has Nicole Kidman, and this movie also has Joaquin Phoenix in it. I decided to get this movie on DVD, so, yep. And finally, here's the last DVD for this update. And I finally have this movie for its collection, which I haven't seen this movie yet, but I will soon. And that's it for the DVDs. Now let's get on with the 4 Blu-rays that I'm about to show right now. Happy 13th anniversary to this movie right here. I do have Batman Begins on DVD, but I don't have The Dark Knight yet. But I will soon. If I don't find it, I'll find it next time. So, yep. After the video's over, I need to use the bathroom. And I will rewatch the Dark Knight trilogy as soon as I can, so yep. And I finally have this movie right here, which I will watch it before summer's over. And summer will be over in September, which I'll have plenty of time to watch this movie after I got home from my vacation. I don't have this movie yet, but I will as soon as possible. I finally have this movie right here, in which I do have the first 2 Mission Impossible movies on VHS and the third one on DVD. But now I finally have the 4th one. And I will find the 5th. I will find Rogue Nation, Fallout, and Dead Reckoning Part 1. Or Dead Reckoning, that is. And the final Reckoning will be coming out on Blu-ray soon, which I'll get them soon. And then I'll watch the rest of the Mission Impossible movies, in which I've rewatched the first one and the second and the third one back in December of last year. And finally, here's the last Blu-ray for this update. I finally have the sequel to the first Transformers movie from 2009. I do have the first Transformers movie and Age of Extinction on DVD. And I did find the third Transformers movie, which is Dark of the Moon. And I don't have Rise of the Beast or Transformers 1 yet, but I will soon. And I do have the 1986 movie called Transformers the Movie, which I have on VHS. Well, everybody, there you have it for the VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray update for July 20th, 2025. Stay tuned for more videos coming up in the future, and I will be doing another media update while I'm at my mom's and Grandma Elaine's. So, anyways, this is Superman Me 2002 signing out.